everybody. This is Jim Conda Jr. with WatchTheVote2012.com. This is a last-minute Iowa, before the Iowa caucus video. Wanted to point out a few things. The way that the establishment tries to stop populist candidates like Pat Buchanan or Ron Paul or even Ralph Nader, of course he hasn't been as close to victory as Ron Paul and Pat Buchanan at certain points, is that they issue phony polls in advance months before the contest to prepare the public for public perception for what their computer result is going to be. The other thing they do is they, at the last minute, will issue entrance polls. They did this in the Iowa caucus in 1996. At 1 minute till 7, Peter Jennings announced that Dole had won 26 to 23. This would be 1 minute before the Iowa caucuses even started, and they claim they did it on entrance polls, which is completely bogus, because we saw the entrance poll that they did at Hempstead High School, and there were three college kids who had been hired. They talked to about 30 people by 20 to 7 and called in the results. 80–90% of the 1,900 people that showed up that night came in after they called in their results. So the entrance polls or exit polls are total hoaxes. They just have them there for show so they can put out to the public what they want to warp or manipulate the public mind with. But they said Dole would win on the basis of these bogus entrance polls 26 to 23. That's exactly the way it came out, because what did they do? When they got the results to New York City, they just switched them. Now tonight, which is January 3rd, 2012, if they come out at 1 minute till 7 or at 7 or at 10 after 7 as Iowa time and say, oh, our exit polls say Romney is going to win 25 to 22. That's what some of the polls have shown. Romney's ahead supposedly 25 to 22. If they come out and say that, you'll know that that is manipulation, because there's no way they could know at that point, trying to prepare you for what they plan to fix in Des Moines at the main Republican state headquarters, where they crook the vote. The local people do it honest. So if there can be any kind of an effort by people across the state to get the results of their county and call it in later to watch the vote, we hope to get most of the counties tonight anyway to checkmate these election crooks. But if anybody can, if people understand what's happening, then they could know that as long as we get the local county count, what happened in each county, that will be honest. If we add those up, we'll have the real results, at least within very close. Because there could be a little crookedness here and there, but I don't think so at the local level. But once they get to the state, we're going to see all kinds of shenanigans. So watch for that bogus announcement at the beginning of the caucuses by the big 5 TV networks to try to manipulate your mind to be prepared for the topic. Okay. Now the other thing I'm afraid they're going to do tonight, you know, they've had this Wall Street so-called anonymous tape, and I'm going to tell you a website, a video you can go to watch that. And we're going to try to have it on our Watch the Vote 2012 site here on the Iowa caucus night. But it's on YouTube. Remember when they said, the guy said, oh, I'm anonymous and we're going to hack the vote? Well, and then the GOP goes, ooh, we better move our count to a secret location. Okay, now just to explain that, they are not stopping the count at the local level. That's the important thing. They can't do that. They would do it if they could. That's why Governor Branstad of Iowa said, oh, we might have to change the Iowa caucus because if Ron Paul wins, it's going to give Iowa a bad name. Right, Governor, when there's not a computer election, those people just don't know how to vote, do they? We need to always get them on computers so the elite can select the candidates instead of the people being elected them. But when they talk about that they have to move their computer and it might be hacked, what they're preparing you for is a second scenario I hope we can all stop them from doing by exposing it in advance. And that is, they say about 9 o'clock, oh, we've been hacked, or our computers have broken down. We can't give you the result tonight. We'll have to give it to you tomorrow morning. That would be to prevent Ron Paul, if he wins, from getting up on the stage and have that worldwide, over-the-top enthusiasm from his supporters being seen all over the world, taking the victory on the worldwide television stage. That's what the crooks at the Iowa GOP, the RNC, and of course the Democrats are just as bad, but this is a Republican event, and Goldman Sachs and the Fed and the International Bank. That's what they want to prevent, is Ron Paul and his supporters proving that he is the popular candidate candidate, not these hacks. And then that really tanks the credibility of the big media, which we will make sure tanks even more for the rest of the year. So the point here is that you understand what they may do. They may say, oh, we can't do the result tonight. If they do that, that's why they had all this hoax with, I'm sure Anonymous was part of it, and he goes ahead and does this, and then they say, we got to move the count, and that's all to prepare you for, oh, we can't give you the result tonight, maybe. That's what we want to prevent. If this tape is being made at about 4 o'clock Eastern time, 3 o'clock Iowa time on January 3rd, 2012. So I'm making this 3 to 4 hours before the Iowa caucus begins, and you'll be able to tell from the YouTube upload that it'll be time-stamped before the time of the Iowa caucus begins. So that's the second scenario that they might want to do. But actually, the moving of their computer is a very little matter, because even if you were there in Des Moines watching them, you can't see what's happening inside a computer. That's why it's illegal. Two Supreme Court decisions have said secret counts are illegal. And if you want to see those Supreme Court decisions, go to our YouTube video from 4 years ago, South Carolina, Super Tuesday, and Ron Paul. That's worth watching because it goes into why all secret counts are illegal. So even if we had the computer in Des Moines or 20 blocks away or over in another city, it doesn't matter. If we were there, we would not be able to see what they were doing. It's still a secret count. But I'm glad that they said they moved it, because it gives the whole process a real stink about it. But in reality, they're just doing that to prepare you for them saying, oh, we can't get you the results tonight, thereby preventing Ron Paul from walking up on stage. We had that happen to us in 1990 when there was nothing opposed on the ballot in Hamilton County, Cincinnati. We had nothing opposed from governor to dog catcher. All were unopposed. There were just 700 contested precinct contest, because the platform Republicans were trying to take over the established Republicans, trying to take over the party. They said that night, oh, we can't give you the results. We have to look at them all night to make sure we won. Well, they didn't say that. They just said, we can't give you the results till tomorrow morning. They wanted to check those 700 races to make sure we weren't going to be able to boot them out of power, or maybe if we were, they fixed some of the races. But we would have had to win 3 out of 4 races and that to win. But there's precedent for this when they're not sure what's going to happen. They say, oh, we can't give you the result till the next morning. So if the Iowa GOP does that, you'll know it's just another election rigging tactic of theirs. And the question is, why should they even have computers? On Watch the Vote, we have Google Docs, and we have 33 people or 50 people, whatever it is right now, sitting around the country waiting to hear from 1 or 2 counties. And then they type it in, the Google Doc adds it up automatically. Why doesn't the Republican Party headquarters of Iowa get rid of the computer? This is the real question. Have 33 people sitting at computers. They could even be at home if they know who they are. They get the calls from 3 of the county leaders each. They type it into a Google Doc that they could easily have prepared, and they add it up automatically, and they can see it at Republican headquarters, announce the result. No, they don't want to do that. They don't want to do something that is low tech that would work. I mean, it's still high tech, but it's not a computer. It's the Google Docs on a computer. They don't want to do something. They want something that can be hacked. And that's why they got all these elaborate things where people are supposed to send the results in by clicking their cell phone and all this stuff. This is all unnecessary, shouldn't be done, and it could easily be done without it. But they want a situation where they can claim they were hacked, because the main danger to this is not some foreign country or some kid sitting in Hackensack, New Jersey. The main danger is the Republican Party and who they're using. And by the way, why is it they need to have their computer hooked up to the internet at all for this? They can't be hacked if they're not hooked up to the internet. Well, the reason is because no one in Iowa is running it. Like we told you in our other videos, either National Election Poll, formerly Voter News Service, or some other company is running this for them from outside of the state. Why do that when you could just, by simple Google Docs or a calculator, add it up yourself once the county chairman call it in? So it's all an excuse. The whole computer vote fraud syndicate and all the computer elections are all an elaborate hoax. They hope people will confuse people so they can fix elections. Tonight, this will be irrelevant after too long after January 2012. But At watchthevote2012.com is where we'll be tabulating the votes as our vote monitors call in what they find around the state, and some other sources that we're using. So you can come to watchthevote2012.com, and at our Facebook page, which is, you go to Facebook and search for Watch the Vote 2012 no spaces. There you're going to find an event that we did, and so you can look on that Facebook page, take part in the event, and also you can get linked to the Google Docs there too. So we'll be back with other tapes as soon as the next step happens, and there's a lot more I could say, but we won't say it on this tape. So thanks everybody that's worked on Watch the Vote 2012 and it is working on it. Everyone is welcome, because the citizens, when we shed light on the process, it's much more harder and much more difficult for the election crooks to fix the elections. And that's what all we want, is honest elections. Whoever wins tonight in the Iowa caucus, we want that person to be announced the winner. Whether it's Romney, Bachmann, Paul Perry, Santorum, whoever wins, we want that person to be announced the winner. But we do think the establishment is hell-bent on cheating Ron Paul out of his victory if they can get away with it. But with you watching, they can't get away with it if you know where to watch. Thank you very much, and everyone into the battle.